If you really look for your mind, you'll see it doesn't exist the way that you think. Although the mind seems solid, it's really just a shimmery mirage. I mean, it appears very real, yet at its core, it's pure emptiness. What we call mind is mostly just a swirl of thoughts. I mean, for example, a reaction pops up like irritation or desire or anger or fear. And if you resist it, push away from it, or you feed it and pull it in, it grows stronger. You have probably noticed this. But if you simply notice it with awareness, with neutrality, it will fade on its own. And yet, no matter how intense, whatever pops up, no matter the intensity, it's still always just a thought, right? It's still always just a thought. And here's something to keep in mind that's really important as your awakening is deepening. All thoughts, no matter how intense or how subtle, if you think you can get rid of these thoughts that disturb your peace, if you keep believing they come from circumstances outside of yourself and you can get rid of them, then they will get more and more sticky and the grooves will deepen even more. Because what you think you see out there really is no outer inner, but what you think you see outside of yourself is really a projection of your mind. The more you dislike, the more you resist, the more you fight what's going on in the so-called external realm, the more it will strengthen its grip. Not long ago, for example, I was driving at night and there was a car that came up kind of quickly, it felt like, behind me. And, you know, it was dark and it seemed to have its bright lights on. I'm not sure they were their brights, but I know that I'm really sensitive to light. And so irritation quickly arose. I was aware, though, that underneath the irritation, there was some anxiety and some fear. I felt some fear come up because the mind was saying, danger, danger, they're too close, I can't see, this is becoming a dangerous moment. So I went into inquiry very quickly. I just asked, is this true? Am I really in danger? And I noticed that there really wasn't any danger. I mean, sure, I would like to have had them back off or put their lights, dim their lights down if they were bright. But as soon as I realized I wasn't really in any danger, it's just that the ego didn't like them being that close at night, I began withdrawing my projection. And then my mind and my body immediately calmed down. I realized the lights were just lights. There really wasn't anything to fear. And interestingly, it seemed that they backed off at about that same time I began withdrawing my projection. It seemed that way. It really helps to keep in mind that awakening doesn't mean that all of life's challenges are going to vanish. They don't. I'm giving you a really simple challenge of a driver being close behind me at night. But the point is the ego doesn't drop out once you realize you're not that. Once you become aware of your true nature, these egoic patterns don't drop out. Even when you recognize the mind as a mirage, there are still human areas of your life that will call for attention. And I don't know if this is brought up enough on the non-dual path. These might be in the areas of your emotions or old trauma or interpersonal connections, relationships, and so on, because awakening isn't a bypass of our humanity. It's a recognition of our truth within the human experience. Are you with me? And when you see your mind creates experiences, everything from both struggle to peace, and that its real nature is emptiness, your mind will stop leading you around in circles. But this doesn't, again, it doesn't happen overnight. So we need to be patient with ourselves. It's really all about clinging. Again, your mind's going to grab onto whatever it sees or hears, and then it's going to decide if it likes it or if it doesn't like it, if it's good or if it's bad. It's constantly making judgment based on your conditioning, based on old programming. So it helps to keep in mind that thoughts arise like footprints on the shoreline. I like to walk the beach most days, and I always notice making that footprint with my bare foot. You know, they're clear for a moment, and then they're washed away by the next wave, leaving not a trace. Like the footprints, it's better to recognize that your thoughts aren't solid and let them pass, let them wash away. Because every thought, whether it's a twinge of annoyance or simmering rage or happy excitement, is insubstantial. They really have no meaning. All thoughts only have the meaning that you assign to them. In and of themselves, they mean nothing. So stay as the neutral witness as thoughts arise and watch how each thought fades away. If you're experiencing something I call looping thoughts, these are repetitive thought patterns that just won't quit. I'm happy to share how to handle those in a separate video. Just leave a comment below if you're interested, and I'll make a video, because those are challenging. Those are deep grooves in the mind, and there's a different way on how to handle those. But with regular thoughts, daily thoughts that seem to come up, as just like a mirage fading in the desert sun, just stay open. Just stay as the neutral witness. Don't grab on and don't resist, and you'll experience just pure spaciousness. Because again, like a mirage fading in the desert sun, the mind's illusions disappear, leaving only awareness, which was right here all along, all along. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.